It's funny, the more you learn about lighting, the harder it gets. You start out with one of those like ring light TikTok things, and then you learn a little bit more, and then all of a sudden you've got soft boxes and some big lights, and then you learn a bit more than that, and then you want like overhead frames with bleached muslin and like diffusion sheets. You're thinking about HMIs and sky panels, you're reading all these books about the inverse square law, and then all of a sudden you've decided that until you've got 100 grand to spend on lighting, your video is not going to be good enough. And anyway, while you're saving up for some ARRI 18K HMIs, you can rework the script anyway. Except it doesn't have to be that way. You can achieve a pro level look and feel in your lighting without spending the price tag of an Alexa on lights and without needing a grip truck. Overcomplicating lighting adds so much prep time, so much pack up time, and on low budget stuff, if you're working with a small crew or no crew, it can get tiresome really, really quickly. In this video, I'll break down the fundamentals of professional grade cinematic lighting, and I'll show you how you can do it on a budget with minimal, basic, affordable gear that doesn't fill up an entire van. So there's the cinematic look, which we all kind of know when we see, and we can pick it out of a lineup. But there's also the cinematic workflow, not so much what the lighting looks like, but the techniques that we use to achieve that lighting. Or much more simply, if you use the right techniques to achieve the look that you want, it's much, much easier. Let's start with a basic close-up. It's super useful to have good references when you're planning your lighting, and for this close-up, I'm referencing this still from Netflix's Dark, which was DP'd by Nicholas Summerer, because I love it, but also because it's lit in a really natural way. It's so good looking, but the lighting never draws attention to itself. The lighting's so good you don't even notice that it's there. Hold on to that thought. Now, when we look at this still, we can see our subject is backlit, and the side of his face closest to the camera is darker. That's cinematic lighting 101. We should always try and shoot on the shadow side of our subject, since that creates more depth. But how did they light this? Well, probably with a lot more gear than I have, but I'm gonna do my best to recreate it. Your first instinct for a shot like this might be to whack a gridded softbox up or something like that, but I tend to try to avoid softboxes if I can. Softboxes are good and useful, but you don't often see them on movie sets, and that's partially for practical reasons, but it's also because they tend to look a little bit saucy, like you can see that there's a light just outside of the frame. So how would the pros approach lighting this shot? I'm going to bounce the light. If I was more pro, I would probably have some bounce material like Ultra Bounce or maybe a bleached muslin to bounce the light off of, but since this is a budget video, I'm just shooting the light at the wall. The reason that bouncing light tends to look a little bit more realistic and natural is because that's what light does in the real world. It comes out of the sun and then it hits stuff and then it hits our eyeballs, instead of coming directly from a light just out of the frame and hitting me. But it's also a really good technique to upgrade your lights for free. When you bounce light, it tends to improve the light quality and the color reproduction of the light since it's being scattered about and mixed in with everything else. So you can see here, I think we're a little bright on the shadow side. I'd like to boost up the contrast and really darken up that side a bit. If I had a grip truck, I'd probably go grab a couple of 4x4 floppies with negative fill material on them. But since I don't have a grip truck yet, I'm just gonna stick this black blanket that I found up on these two cheap light stands. Seems to work just fine. See how simple it can be to achieve a really natural but still cinematic look with minimal gear using these techniques? One light bashed into the wall and literally just like a blanket covered in cat hair hung up on the other side. It took maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes to set this up, and maybe another 5 or 10 minutes of tweaking everything, fiddling around with the angle of the light to get it just right. Speaking of the light, this is the Zhiyun Molus B500. Now, Zhiyun didn't sponsor this video and they don't have any say in what I make, but they are friends of the channel and they sent this light my way so that I could try it out. I'm also an affiliate, so if you do buy any Zhiyun kit with my links below, I will make a small kickback. That being said, let's talk about why I use this particular light. The B500 is a 500 watt LED light, and I like it for a few reasons. First, the 500 watt output is awesome. If you've never had a light with this much horsepower, I highly recommend it. It means that I can both get great results from bouncing it and still have plenty left once it's reached me, but I can also compete with the sunlight behind me so I can get a balanced exposure without clipping anything. I also like the fact that it's both affordable and small. I like a lot of lighting brands, but from purely a price perspective, if you compare this Zhiyun B500 with the Nanlite equivalent, the Forza 500, it's $1,000 cheaper. Is the Forza 500 that much better? Not really. Hence the B500. What about a medium shot? Let's try this. I'm sitting on the couch. Again, I'm bouncing the light, but instead of hitting the wall, I'm actually just bashing it directly into the ceiling above me. I have precariously and unprofessionally hung the cat blanket on some light stands to the shadow side, although I have to admit some floppies would be nice here because I can't quite get it close enough to me. Now, here's the thing. Can you spot what I did wrong? The thing is, there's a big window right here, but that's the shadow side of my face because I want to keep that closest to the camera. But it doesn't really make sense. I mean, the light's coming from this side of me, but the windows are behind me. So how can I light this in a way that looks a little bit more convincing without losing the fundamentals? How's that? Is it better? All I did here was I turned the light around and pointed it slightly behind me. Now, obviously this makes the background brighter than me, which is what it would be in the real world, but it might not be the cinematic technique that you'd like to use. You have to decide whether you care more about realism or storytelling. Let's try the third secret way. Here we have a completely different look. It's more dramatic, but it's more saucy. For this shot, I am using a gridded softbox. You can see that I definitely punch out more from the background now, at the expense of looking like I'm in the real world. This is a great setup for making YouTube videos or corporate interviews, but if we're trying to immerse the viewer, I think this might not be the best option. In the real world, most of our apartments have pretty crappy lighting, and so sometimes we can sacrifice a little bit of perfect, good-looking lighting for a little bit of realism.
I feel like buying an Airy Sky panel, you know. I just feel, what would Deakins do? I feel like Deakins would have muslin in here somewhere. I haven't got any muslin. It's expensive. Maybe I should buy some muslin. This is what I do when I'm not making videos, by the way. I just chill here with the light on.
You don't need a whole van full of lights. You just don't. If you've ever burned yourself on lighting equipment, you're probably the same level of unhinged as me. And so I think you should like this video and you should subscribe so that we can talk shop more often, because we'll get along. If you're on a budget, you just need one big light, a couple of little bonus lights, and stands. A lot of the time here on YouTube in this space, we talk about GAS, like gear acquisition syndrome, about cameras and lenses a lot, but we don't talk about it when it comes to lighting. Scope creep is real, and you can end up talking yourself out of making stuff if you don't have HMIs and thousands of dollars of rigging equipment and 20 by 20 overheads. The reality is you don't need that much in terms of lighting to make stuff look good. You just need to take your time to figure out how to get the look you want with the gear that you've got. Stop making excuses for yourself with gear and go make a short or a video poem or a fake ad for Starbucks. Do it today, not tomorrow. Do it today. Make a 30-second ad for a fake coffee company this evening on your phone, just to prove to yourself that you can make stuff. I'll see you on Friday. Stay hydrated and create art.